Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church. Here we are in the middle of the week, the day before our celebration of Thanksgiving. I don't know what your plans are. My wife and I hope to spend the day with our daughter. We'll see how that works out. Guess it depends on a lot of things, including the weather. And as many of you know around here, the weather can change real fast. But because I've been talking this week about Thanksgiving, I want to say something today along this theme. It comes from 1 Corinthians, Paul's letter to the church in Corinth, the church folks. And he says this in verse 4, chapter 1. I always thank my God for you and for the gracious gifts that he has given you. Now, I grant you here, Paul is talking to a specific group, the Christians in Corinth. And they're new Christians. They don't have a long history of being followers of God. And Paul has nurtured them. And so he continues to nurture them with these words. Always thank my God for you and for the gracious gifts he's given to you. Well, as we think about giving thanks this week, how about giving thanks for not what God's done for you, but what God's done for others? How about if we get ourselves out of our own person here and think about someone else? You know, I'm really thankful for a lot of people. I'm thankful for many I don't even know, those who work to make our physical lives better. I'm certainly thankful for the doctors I saw at the earlier part of this year that worked miracles, basically. I know it's called modern medicine, but modern medicine doesn't always work exactly like it's expected. And I just thank God that He gave someone, it says here, thank you for you and the gifts you give, that He gave someone the gifts that they had and the skills that they had to do the things inside of me that needed to be done. I don't have those skills, and many folks do not. But I'm thankful for that. I also give thanks for people in my church whose gifts and graces make it possible for us to share the kingdom of God to those around us. We're making great strides at moving forward, even in the midst of the pandemic. God has given gifts to people to think new ways. And it's always good to think new ways. I've always thought it was better to look at something new than just to hang on to the rest. In fact, I think one of God's gifts to people is creativity. And the more people you have, the more creativeness you can create. And I thank God for that. None of it has anything to do with me. I, I'm like you. I don't want to say I'm selfish, but there are times when I feel like, I need to be important. I need to be considered by someone else. And that's natural. But I'm more concerned about others. I'm so thankful for my wife. If you're married and you have a spouse, I hope you can say the same thing about him or her. God has given me a partner with great gifts. Her gifts sort of complement my gifts. And it's very little that we are in competition with in terms of knowing how to do things. And when we allow ourselves to think about others, we allow ourselves to think more than we ever possibly could before. It's a shame. And I know it's true. I've been around them. And the research clearly shows psychological, sociological, medically, all of the research shows there are some people who only think about themselves. They never think about anybody else. And they never think that anything they do is wrong. I remember reading a book about these kinds of folks once, and the author of the book said, now I know that at the end of life, when these people are on their deathbed, do they ever say, I was wrong, I'm sorry? And she said, the answer is real simple. Nope, they never do. How sad it is to be someone who goes through life. And the only thing that's important is them. The only thing that matters is their needs. The only thing that matters is that they get the attention. Oh, I know they can be some pretty powerful folks. But in the end, they don't experience the life that Paul's talking about here. Because Jesus' example shows us the way to earn your life is to give it. Invest your life in someone else. I'd like to encourage you over Thanksgiving. You're going to see some folk, many of you anyway, going to see some folks you don't normally see. Take the time to listen to one of them and their story. And then be thankful for them and tell them that. I am so thankful that you came here today. I am so much better off because you joined us or I joined you, whichever it works. You see, there's some power in being thankful for others and their gifts that's far greater than the power of being thankful for ourselves. Now, I grant you, that sounds like a really strange thought. But hey, so what's new? Those of you who know me well know that I have a lot of strange thoughts. My wife even says some of them are just goofy. And maybe they are. But this one I got right. Let me read it to you again. Paul says, I always give thanks for you and for the gracious gifts God has given you. I'd like to encourage you to do that over the next few days to other people. Sincerely do that and see what it does in your own life. Hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'll be back tomorrow, but many of you may not listen because you're busy with other stuff. So I'll say it today as well. Happy Thanksgiving. God bless you. If you have a need or a prayer concern, let us know. We'll do whatever we can, as fast as we can, to help meet those needs. Take care of yourself. I'll talk to you again.